Hey everyone, this is Mitch here. Apologies for the delay in posting this episode. There were some issues with Marcus's audio, so it took a little bit longer to edit than anticipated. But here it is. I hope you enjoy. Hey everybody, what's up? This is Mitch. You're listening to Rough Notes. I'm here with Eduardo.
Bird up.
I'm here with Marcus.
Hey, hey.
And I'm also here with my friend Izzy. Say hi, Izzy.
Hi, how's everyone this evening, today, whenever you're listening
Good.
to this?
Well, the listeners can't answer, so I'm just gonna say good, or hopefully good, or maybe this podcast will make it good. Who knows? So the reason that we have Izzy here today is we were doing part 2 of our little Fallout Boy review. And so we're here to discuss the new So Much for Stardust album. Izzy, who is my friend, is an avid Fallout Boy fan, same as me. So hoping to balance out the hot takes from Marcus and Eduardo with
You brought reinforcements.
yeah, I needed reinforcement. I feel like I needed reinforcements last episode. I felt so cringy just saying information, but now I'm like, it'll feel less cringy, hopefully.
You don't even know my take yet.
You don't know mine either. I feel like you always assume I'm gonna come and eviscerate your shit, and I feel like it's normally mixed. I don't normally hate everything.
That is true. I always I gotta prepare myself for the worst, so that I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, overall reactions.
All right. So overall reaction, I enjoyed certain songs on this album, and then other songs are like, this seems like a corporation told you, hey, make a happy song for the kids to bop to.
What a time to be alive.
No, not that one.
So mixed album, but it definitely is some solid shit.
All right. I told you didn't know my reaction. I like their old stuff better still, especially that Blue album.
But they
For
gave
sure.
you Crybaby, Eduardo.
I know. Wait, hold up. I'm not saying this was all bad. I don't, like we said, it's just overall, so I don't want to tell you, can I say my favorite song, or is that not?
I
Not
already
yet.
know what my favorite song is. It's not even close.
Sure, say it.
Okay. And this is from me listening to the album 3 times, okay? So not that much. But my favorite song so far was I Am My Own Muse.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Interesting.
See that, especially based on other things we've heard before, like with our Trippy song episode.
Mm-hmm.
The song you brought reminds me of that song to some degree.
And then my second favorite was The Heartbreak Feels Good.
Okay.
You're gonna talk about that one.
Yeah. Like I said, I want to go slightly into it, but not really. But those are the 2 songs that I was like, okay.
Okay, Marcus, what was your favorite song then?
My favorite song, it was not close. It started the album, This sounds like an intro. Like we getting shit off the gate. We going. That's what I expect from Fallout Boy.
Marcus, I was so aghast when you said that.
Really?
Almost mildly offended.
The first song is my favorite song?
Yeah. I feel like only because the first song was the first single that they put out. And so for months of me waiting for this album, that was one of the only things I had. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I've done it to death. I've listened to it to death. I'm not interested.
It goes hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It go hard.
And that's the thing that sucks. It goes so hard, and it was the first song they released in 6 years. First post-COVID song, I almost want to say. That was their thing that they released. So of course, I and Mitch listened to it ad nauseum. I definitely tried to temper it as much as I could, but
yeah,
it's still amazing. I still really like it, but it'll come up on a playlist, and I'd be like, I want to listen to it, but also I've listened to it 100 times.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like if I'm gonna listen to the album, that's almost an automatic skip. But only because there's things I've listened to less that I would rather listen to.
You're like, it's a great song, but this is the 500th time hearing it. And I'd rather hear this not as good song for the 4th time.
No,
Yeah.
no, but
Wait, how many times did everyone listen to the album? I did like 3 times.
Twice.
I listened to this album for probably like 1 to 2 weeks straight.
God damn.
I think I also had like a few days for sure. Like probably
Yeah.
a week.
I feel like by the time it came out, I was like so eager for this album, and then by the time it came out, it was like just this and like podcasts. And I like tried listening to other music, but there was just like nothing else I wanted to listen to.
Oh yeah.
I feel like especially as a single, that song was like it was like a great first song for them to release, because I feel like it was surprising to, I don't know, like longtime fans like me and Izzy also, because it was like kind of, I don't want to say return to form, because I feel like they've rejected that in like a bunch of interviews, but a returned sound, I guess, almost, where they were doing, so there are like albums that I didn't share with you guys just because there's too many albums and not enough time, but on the albums we didn't listen to, there's just like a lot more synth and like electronic sounds, and so like this with like the drums and the guitar, it like, I don't know, it was nice.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I wrote. I was like, yo, if this had been released in like the 2010s or the 2000s, this would be a smash hit. And the only reason it's not bigger is because the musical landscape for their sound is just like different now. So
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like if Left on the Other Side was on Save Rock and Roll, oh, I would have blown up absolutely. Also, I'm getting Mitch that you did not show them Mania, which from
No,
the I
and not
got from
the
the
Mania.
sentence.
No,
She
I
told
mean,
us that one was bad.
I love Mania. You didn't even listen to it, Eduardo.
yeah, but he trusts you that much, man.
No, I like Mania. We didn't listen to Save Rock and Roll, American Beauty, American Psycho, and Mania, which truly Mania and Save Rock and Roll are like the two like I shed a single tear that we didn't get to those. But it was just like too much music.
Oh yeah.
And now you know how I feel about American Beauty, American Psycho. But the other thing is like this album, it sounds like the album we didn't get during their like actual announced hiatus between 2009 and 2013. It sounds like that's where this album belongs, which is like crazy because we also don't get this album without all the other stuff that they did.
Oh, 100%. It feels like a really good blend of what they've done, like their early days, and almost like a little bit with a sprinkle of like what they've been doing like in like the 2010s decade. Combine their 2 decades together,
Yeah.
essentially, I think is a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Well, I guess now that we've started getting into some of the songs, we can talk about Love from the Other Side a little bit more. It does have that kind of wild intro that Marcus was talking about. You know, there's like all those strings in the beginning and that sort of thing. Eduardo, what did you think of this first song?
Okay, before I get into it, I will say I was like, is I Am My Own Muse my favorite one? And I listened to it, I'm like, oh no, it's my least favorite one. My favorite one was actually Holding Me Like a Grudge.
Okay, I can get
I
that.
Am My Own
Okay.
Muse was the
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
one for me.
Okay.
Just putting that record out there. Okay, but Love from the Other Side, right? I think it was cool. It's a good start to the album. I don't have anything else to say that you guys haven't said already. You know, like the beginning one, I feel like if this is how they start their tour, I don't know if they're gonna tour or not, but if they
They
start
are.
with those keys or strings or whatever those long notes are, it's gonna go crazy. I can
Them
already
rough
see it.
notes.
Just hearing you say that like gave me goosebumps. Like just imagining that.
Yeah.
The lights coming up. I don't know their names, but the guitar guy you can see his silhouette. Then the little lasers start coming out. I don't know if they're laser people, but they give me laser vibes.
I guess they actually do a lot of pyro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fire is more in line with the whole, I feel like, aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just those strings are gonna. Have you seen
They
the
gonna
Kanye
string?
video where he like does the one piano key and everyone goes crazy?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
He's just run away. He has the mask. He's elevated above the stage, and he's like, "Ding!" And everyone's
It's like when they play the single G note at an MCR concert, like you know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Yes. No, it's exactly that. If you hear these strings, everyone's going
You're like,
crazy.
oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a good concert starter.
Yeah.
That's my opinions.
Mitch might be able to better illuminate because she's seen them more recently. But I think the last few years it's just started with like Sugar We're Going Down, and like then everyone goes crazy.
They start with
I
that?
don't even remember. I feel like, do they start?
I feel like that's a finisher. That's a closer or late in the set. No?
No, that's not a close. That's
No.
like a mid tier in my brain.
Damn, what's a closer?
Don't they usually close on Saturday?
They close on Saturday at every show.
I didn't
They've
show you guys
done-
Saturday. Whoops.
They've done My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark a lot towards the end, right?
See, that to me feels like an opener.
Probably when they toured that album. That probably was an opener, and then they moved to a closer.
We'll look this up before the end of the pod. And we'll see.
Yes.
Turns out I lied, and we did not actually get back to what Fall Out Boy usually opens with on their tour. From the most recent tour before the one they're currently going on, it looks like the Phoenix is usually their opening number.
Yeah, I feel like other thoughts on this song, looking back through the lyrics, not a lot stands out to me now, although like more might have stood out upon first listen. But just the line, I'd never go, I just want to be invited, which is like such a mood. Also like a reversal of how I felt when I was younger, where I did want to go to things and be invited. Now I'm like, yeah, you can invite me, and we'll see.
I mean, speak for yourself, Mitch. I still both want to go and want to be invited. I guess it depends who's inviting.
True. All right. Any other final thoughts on Love from the Other Side?
Man, I didn't know every lover had a dagger in the hand. It's crazy.
I was gonna say we're out here Romeo and Julieting, but
Yeah, very self-destructive love.
Nobody got stabbed in that one though, so
Nobody got stabbed in that one.
I don't think so. I don't remember which Shakespeare play people got stabbed in. Was that like
I think
Macbeth?
Juliet stabbed herself.
Oh,
So
no, she like takes the poison.
One of them took fake poison, and then one of them stabbed themselves.
Oh, you're right.
Somebody
No,
100% stabbed
I
themselves.
take it back. I thought they.
So that was a good joke, Mitch. That was a good joke.
Okay. Well, now I just look stupid. All right. Heartbreak Feels So Good. This was the second single that they put out. So, we had Love from the Other Side, and then we got this. Once again, I don't know if it was that like this song came out second before the album, but I feel like I enjoyed listening to this one more after Love from the Other Side had already been out. It goes hard.
Yeah, it does go hard. It has, I don't know if you guys watched Nope from Jordan Peele recently, but it has a lot of the lyrics had like a lot of those vibes. And the music video is also very fun. But it was also definitely like a good amount of like, okay, we've given you Love from the Other Side for like a few months, weeks. Okay, here's something else to tie it. And this one also, I think especially, like, it's a good listen to for sure.
First off, I feel like Patrick always has very interesting vocal. Like he'll always have at least one section where he'll do something really cool rhythmically. I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of a really interesting rhythmic pattern. I'm not sure if it happened on this one, but if it did, I fucked with it. What else? I mean, obviously we have to talk about the memes surrounding this song, right? Like we have to have that. Remember the whole Nicole Kidman thing?
Oh yeah. The AMC preview. You ever go to like the movie theater and then? Yeah.
If you've ever gone to any AMC ever in the country since like the pandemic, they've run like a $100 million campaign with Nicole Kidman, where she walks into the movie theater in a sparkly silver suit by herself, talks about how we need movies and we come here to feel larger than life. Because heartbreak feels so good in a place like this, and it starts before every movie that you watch at an AMC and has become a running meme. So the boys at Fall Out Boy decided to harness the power of memetry.
True. But also, what I find funny about the whole Nicole Kidman thing is like, wasn't their whole point to like try and get people to go to more movies? But then they're like only showing this commercial if you're already at the movie. Like they're not. They're like advertising to people who are already doing what they want them to do.
I mean, but like the funny thing is that it makes me want to go more just to see the thing.
Oh my god,
it's a good time. Do your thing, Nicole.
Yeah, I feel like also the difference between this and like Love from the Other Side. Patrick has apparently also done scoring for, I don't know if it's like for movies or shows or what. Yeah. So he's been composing, and I feel like Love from the Other Side sounds too composy to me. Like that intro and all. I don't know. I was just like Heartbreak. It's a really tight song.
Yes.
It feels more raw.
I don't know if yeah, I guess.
Would you say, I guess it's like the song that's like it's put together, it's perfect, but there can see some cracks in it, but in a good way?
The other one sounds like it's trying like too hard to be like this really cinematic first song in the album. This song, I'm like, ooh, like that's Fall Out Boy. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I every time I listen to this after we recorded the episode with Eduardo being like, I only like them in their crybaby era, I was like, Eduardo better like this song because they literally say we could cry a little, we could cry a lot, you know.
But don't stop dancing.
Don't stop dancing.
Sch-
Also,
Schrodinger's Crybaby.
this is for all my BoJack Horseman fans out there. Has anybody here watched BoJack Horseman, or is it just me?
I've watched the first couple of episodes. I know it gets incredibly depressing, but I have not gotten to those parts yet, as it's contingent on a bet I have with one of my friends. So
Okay, I will say, based on Marcus's disclaimer, watch the show at your own discretion. You know, figure out if it's an okay show for you. In like the Penn Ultimate episode, a character sings, and I'm not gonna say anything else because even though I feel like it's like not really a spoiler at this point, the show's been over for like
yeah, it's wild.
years. But like a character sings the song "Don't Stop Dancing" until the curtain call, and so I also always think about that character when I listen to this song. So like nobody else is gonna get that, but I will get it, and that's fine.
The viewers will get it, Mitch. The viewers.
The listeners.
No, oh no. Oh yeah, I forgot that some people can't see. If you're not subscribed on Patreon, you can't see the video we have for our podcast, you know. So yeah. So yeah, mostly listeners. Yeah.
Mark is gonna get us in. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Heartbreak Feels So Good?
Definitely agreeing with like a lot of like what Mitch said. Like just to hop on like also what you were saying before, like you're right in that the first song is very orchestral, composed, especially at the start.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Fall Out Boy's always been a band that's been very much like more casual, I guess. So Love from the Other Side definitely feels like a big welcome back. And this is just like, okay, we're chilling. Let's party almost. We'll cry a little, cry a lot, and party. And getting things more acclimated and used to things.
I feel like when they released the first single, people were excited, but it was like a very much like, are we gonna like the rest of the album? Are we gonna like this song and then the rest of it's gonna be trash? And then I feel like a Grudge like, you know, gave us some more solace that it would be a good album.
Yeah, that's what I will say.
Heartbreak Feels So Good. I think I said Hold Me Like a Grudge because I'm excited to talk about that.
But yeah, I think that's what's interesting about this album. I feel like there's like a good amount of like pretty drastic switches in like tone or vibe, right? For a lot of like this one especially, because I feel like it leaves you on a high at the end of like Love You on the Other Side, and it kind of starts off a bit slower here and then gets hyper as it progresses.
Yeah.
Real quick on my opinion, I thought it was a good song. I like they're not really verses, but like, you know, the non-chorus parts where they sound
The
really
bridge?
sad and they're kind of like
The
croony
bridge?
about it.
The bridge.
The bridge?
The bridge.
Yeah, the
Take 'em to the
bridge,
bridge.
those were my favorite parts. Where you know the facial expression they're doing when they're singing that, it's the one that I put in the chat right now. Like that's how
Oh
they
my
looked like when they
God.
were singing. I
Oh, with
didn't
SpongeBob?
yeah.
Emo
I did not
SpongeBob.
like I wasn't a big fan of the chorus only because it brought it back up. Like I want to keep that sad, emo sounding voice that they had during that time, during the little bridges. I didn't like the choruses. They felt a little too happy. Like
Mhm.
which they say something a little later.
Hey, remember, you're in America. You can't be too happy. You can be happy.
Oh my
Too
God.
happy.
I feel like I keep trying to like move things along, and then somebody says something, and I'm like, okay, well now we have to talk about that. And now that like Eduardo brought up the bridges, we have to talk about.
No, we don't. We don't.
We're talking about it right now. I'm pretty sure like every song on the album has a bridge in it, which I feel like it's really rare for today. But then I feel like also like I don't know if this used to be a thing where like in like the 2000s where every song had a bridge on an album.
They did.
Okay.
It's way more common. Like if you track musical or like song structure throughout the decades, because everything is getting driven more by TikTok. Yeah, so we're now just like hook immediately, hook, verse, hook, get out. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's now
Yeah.
the average structure of any song you hear.
Every song is 2 minutes
Yeah. Oof.
You know?
No.
because their brains are small.
Yeah, I feel like all of the bridges like in this album, I feel like almost they elevate the song so much. And so I'm like, ooh, that's good. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about Hold Me Like a Grudge. Everything about this song is so funky in the best possible way. Like they have that groovy bass line in the beginning, and then Joe does this for like funky funk sounding guitar riff, and I was just like, it's going crazy. It's so good. It's so good.
My favorite thing about this is that they just found a way to juxtapose the holding that they want from their lover with the ironic use of the word grudge. I'm like, damn, you know, that was fire. Whoever wrote that.
That would be Mr. Peter.
But yeah, my note on this one was, wow, I liked quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a very good bop for sure. A lot of like the guitar chords, I think everything worked together really well. You know, putting down like the consistent path that the other two songs laid on, and very nice welcome back. I think it was very intentional that the first 3 singles of this album are like the first 3 songs, and they welcome you in for sure.
Yeah. So Eduardo, this was your favorite song.
Hold Me Like a Grudge. You want me to keep going?
Or yeah, I mean, do you have it? That's the only thought. It was your favorite song.
No, the bass line goes kind of crazy.
It does go kind of crazy, especially because Pete Wentz is kind of infamous for like not being that great of a bass player.
It felt like the classic rock songs that my friends would listen to when they would show me these kind of songs. Like it's got that like, now looking back at it, now it feels like man, what kind of store would play this music? I don't know, but I know there's a clothing store somewhere that would play this kind of song in their commercials. It's got those claps. It's got that like weird guitar twanginess to it. Like it sounds so metallic-y, like a banjo vibe to it. I don't know if I'm explaining it the way that you guys would, but that's how I'm saying it. And I think I liked it because I know we were paying attention to lyrics. I will say after like the fifth song, I kind of stopped paying attention to the lyrics, not because they're bad, but it's just so much I can take, you know? But in this one, it said something about like thaw out the freezer, something like that. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean?
Oh, thaw out my freezer burn feelings for 20 summers.
Yeah. I was like, what? Thaw out my freezer?
I feel like
You
that's
know.
like the universal Fall Out Boy experience. I definitely feel like they have a lot of songs where I'm like, oh, it's very clear what is being said, and then like other songs, I'm like, I feel like I would need to go to like an English professor and be like, what does he mean here?
But it doesn't feel like his enunciation is that bad.
Yeah. I also really love the rhythm, starting with the I'm just a cherub writing comments to the night sky. Like the rhythm going into that, like Patrick changes it up. It just like hits. It sounds so good. And then I feel like these are like, I guess, like standout lyrics, but also things that like I don't know, like people were calling this out left and right, but that you put the fun in dysfunctional, and then also part-time soulmate, full-time problem, which like what a mood.
Oh, truly.
Hold up. Real, now that you reminded me, real quick hot take. Put the fun in dysfunction. Cringe.
Yeah, that's a bad bar. That's
It's a bad
the
bar.
fun in this
That's
function.
like a
That's
Hot Topic shirt vibe.
I mean,
It
it's a
is like a
double
hot topic
entendre. It is indeed a double entendre, but it's like the wackest stuff though. It's like if it's good, but it's like as whack as a good one could be. To where it's like, okay, I see what you did there. You know.
Yeah. I feel like they have cringier, or like they
Oh
have things that like
no.
make me cringe harder in other songs. than that. But yeah.
I mean, I agree. I probably just didn't understand what they said, so
Oh no.
so I didn't register.
All right, we're gonna go to Fake Out, and I sent Marcus the guitar, the like intro guitar riff for this, and I was like, "Does this sound like something that would be played on like a beat I would like?" And he was like, "Yes, absolutely." But the like little sad guitar intro on this gets me every time. Also, because I constantly feel like I forget what the chorus to this song sound like when I listen to like the little intro because they just sound so wildly different. If you were having me like match up intros to like the chorus of a song,
Yeah, agreed.
you would not be putting these together.
Oh, but that explains so much because the notes I wrote for this song were I remember having heard this, but I don't remember where I've heard this before. I know I've heard it, but I don't remember when. And it was like, when Mitch showed you. When Mitch-
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, thanks for solving the mystery.
You're welcome.
It was an alright song for me. It wasn't like, oh man, I hate this song. But it wasn't like, oh, I love the song either. What you guys think?
Yeah, I feel like I guess like it sounds more mellow. I'm like listening back to a little bit of it right now. It sounds like more mellow than I initially thought leading into the chorus, but I just feel like when I think about the chorus, like he just hits that high note and I'm like, "Oh my god." I also did not understand that he was saying love is in the air. To me, like I feel like I do. People keep being like, "Oh, like love is in the air," and I just need a window to break out. And I'm like, when does he say the word air? Like, yeah. So they on their like Instagram released snippets of all the songs as like a teaser leading up to the album, and so I think they released the little bit of the chorus for this one. And I feel like I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it based on the snippet, but then like the guitar intro just really, really sells it for me. It's grown on me.
All right. I know exactly where I've heard this song. This is the song that Bella and Edward have when they do like that montage right before they like have to do a big life decision and they like it's one of those fast forward like they're fast forwarding and they're like this is where we first met and this is where we escaped the other vampires and then the like little guitar thing starts happening. So yeah, this is that kind of song. Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but when I listen to this song, I picture them. They're having relational problems. They're trying to remember why they're here, why they're running away to Arizona, and then this song starts to play.
God damn.
Okay, now I can kind of see it, but
Yeah, Twilight's back. You know, the
Yeah.
kids are rediscovering Twilight.
I have watched Twilight somewhat recently. I feel like everything I say, I'm like, should I say that on the podcast? And then I'm like, whatever, YOLO. But
I just come here, have a good time, say what I gotta say. You just
Yeah.
say what you gotta say.
you know, maybe the things that I was embarrassed about in middle school are just like kind of cringe now, but not like the most cringe thing.
It's like a fun cringe,
Yeah.
an embracing cringe.
Yeah. But Izzy, what did you think of this one?
I don't know. It's always the one that sneaks in there,
Mhm.
but you just kind of bop to either way. Like it's not the one I'll remember. Yeah, it's the one like maybe like it'll fall out of my memory when I look back at the album. But the struggle is that, and like we'll get to it soon. It's sandwiched between really two good songs, two really
Yeah.
good songs in the album. So it definitely just sort of falls out. But it's still really good. If it's the one song that falls out of my memory, then that's pretty good, I guess, on like the album qualities
Mhm.
part, 'cause it's still a good song, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The line I like from this song is I make no plans and none can be broken, which I feel like I saw like people dissecting this differently, but I feel like I always think about it, oh, it's like I don't make plans to go out and then like, I can't get sad when I ask my friends to go out with me and they all say no because they're busy. But I feel like I get that kind of vibe from it, but I'm trying to think about like how other people were dissecting it and now I can't remember. But I also agree with Eduardo that I can totally see this being part of like some flashback movie montage or like something where like, middle school kids are like at a dance together.
Or that's exactly what I thought. This is like that summer that summer song, or actually Eduardo described it perfectly. The end of the Twilight Bella saga closes the credit, and you're playing this as they walk out the theater, and you're like, wow, Twilight, 2008. What a time to be alive, man.
Just wait till you hear my thoughts on the next song.
Oh, same. I have
Okay.
some interesting technical thoughts about this song. Those are my actually.
I need to go first because I will not allow for any Heaven, Iowa slander.
Oh.
I will support you
It's
in
mixed.
this endeavor.
It's mixed. It's mixed
All right,
because
I'll be quiet.
When they released the snippet of this song on the Instagram, I was like, I need it now. I need Pete Wentz to email me the leaked file. Like, I need it right now. The chorus on this is like Patrick belting on this chorus is like absolutely bonkers. I also feel like everything we've like gotten kind of up to this point, it's like not like super heavy or like not sad. I feel like Fake Out is like kind of like melancholy, but still in like an upbeat way. And I feel like this is kind of the turning point on the album where it's like, oh, we in our feelings now.
Yeah.
you're really gonna eat.
Emo's gonna emo. No, this is the song you absolutely like play in the rain, and it's one of their really good, like slower songs
Mhm.
for sure. Like it's one I'll like I remember like rank highly.
So I remember when I first heard this song, I was like when it first started, I was like, yo, who the hell? See what I did there, Mitch? Don't gotta bleep it. But like, who in the world, right? Mix this because it feels like Patrick is buried kind of like in the background of these vocals. But then I realized what they were doing when the freaking chorus came in because they really exploded that shit way more. Like
Yeah.
it still feels behind, but it feels like I'm listening to Patrick singing this freaking song outside of a stadium or like outside of a concert hall. But it's like fire. Like for me, it brings back the time when I was at Afropunk in Atlanta and Masego had to move from outside to inside. So there were only so many people who could fit inside. So you just heard people going nuts outside to Masego doing like Tada and all of his biggest hits. And everyone was like, oh my God, this is amazing. He was like, fuck. And that's how I feel with this song. So it's funny. I think I started off not liking this song. A lot of it having to do with the choice they make to kind of like bury him in the background more. But I feel like they do that to create that contrast so that when you hear the chorus, you're like, yo, this really opened up and I feel engulfed in that shit. So I think that was a cool artistic decision. And I think it lends greatly to like the power of the chorus.
Look, if the last song was Twilight, this is that new age stuff. This is the perfect song to take that chorus when he's like, stop, cross. You know that part?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
use that for TikTok fan edits of people shipping anime characters.
Oh my God. Like somebody's like Naruto Sasuke ship.
Like when Naruto, I was thinking Naruto Hinata, but go ahead and do the Naruto
Nah.
Sasuke.
He really wanted to get with Sasuke way harder. If we keeping it real in that show, dog.
Like that fight scene by the lake, yes. Like you edit that with that slow-mo or those cuts with this song in the background, it would go crazy. You do the same thing with Hashirama and Madara, it would go crazy.
I gotta
This is
try
the
that
shipping
out because
song. That's what I heard from this song. I was like, damn, if they can market this song with that kind of edit, this could be like a classic.
Okay, now I feel like I gotta know, do people still make people probably make AMVs newer animes with newer music, but I'm like, is anybody making Heaven Iowa Naruto AMV? Like
no, they should because like I still fucking remember the
that's like all I watched on the internet as a kid.
Yeah. I remember the fight because they had what? Wake me up. Why am I forgetting the name of the
Yeah.
song? Yeah, they did that with the Naruto fight, and I was like, "Yo, this is perfect. This is the perfect song." So, if Fall Out Boy could capture that stuff, I'd do it because I think it's the vibe for this song.
Yeah.
Wait, Rich, I think you'd be very happy to know how I first discovered Fall Out Boy was someone used Thanks for the Memories on a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX AMV.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Telling
That
you.
is so funny. All I YouTubed when I was a kid, you would watch the music video, and then like you would watch the lyric video, which like sometimes like people would make lyric videos for songs. Half the time the lyrics were not accurate because I feel like people didn't have.
We didn't have a lyric
Yeah,
site.
yeah, like people were like using
They
their
just put on
ears
vibes.
to tell you the lyrics.
Yeah, just like,
And then like the third thing was AMVs. Like I feel like that's what we did. All you people on TikTok right now, that's what we had in the 2000s.
You're just like us. I mean, that's literally what the culture is
yeah.
progressing to. But like,
But I mean, hey, Mitch, we're not boomers. You know, we're cool. The youth are cool.
Something that also I thought was funny when I like was first listening to this song before I looked at the lyrics. So in the chorus, he goes, "Star-crossed lovers forever. I'm checking myself out forever. I'm saving this all for later." And I always heard, "I'm saving this song for later," which I was like, "Ooh, like the fourth wall break, like that's
That's
so
what I heard too.
clever." And then I was like,
I'm saving
"Oh,
this song.
I'm saving this all for later," which I guess is like still cool, but I feel like less cool. I also love the vocals on the down, 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 downs. It's so good. Patrick be hitting. Also, to go back to what you said, Marcus, about like Patrick's vocals being kind of like not in the forefront in I guess like verse, bridge part of the song, whatever.
Mhm.
Apparently Patrick he was like uncomfortable singing for like a long time. So like he did not like making any song with them where his like vocals were very exposed. So I feel like that's like also like an interesting factoid to think about with this one. But then I feel like the chorus, right? Like obviously he's very vocally exposed in the chorus, but this is like in my top 3, maybe or my top 5, maybe top 3. So like this was like a really good song in the album for me.
I think you're gonna enjoy the link I sent. It's a slow
boy.
and reverb song of this.
Oh my
And
god!
at like
Wait.
go like around 217 ish, just so you can get like that
Okay, wait.
that
I'll have to
chorus
listen
hit.
after the pod to like really get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, next is So Good Right Now. This, I'm just gonna say it, this is like my least favorite song on the album.
Agreed.
yeah, it's a weird like. It's the worst song on Folia Do. Right? Is that accurate? Like the vibe of So Good Right Now is like
If
the
they had
worst
like,
song
if
on
this was like
Folia
supposed
Do.
to be a song on Folio Do, and then they like saved it for this
Yeah.
album.
Yeah. My notes
Yeah.
for this song were, this sounds like an old corporate geezer was like, hey, make a happy song for the kids to bop to. Like, make a late 2000 summer camp bop for the teenagers to dance around to.
Yeah. The only way I can stomach this one is if I like think about the fact that they like maybe made it to be like ironic. That's the only way I can be like, all right, like maybe it's a little bit clever, is if I'm like supposed to be ironic and you're like actually not feeling so good right now.
But I think you're right. I think that is supposed to be the vibe. Like it's so infectiously bubblegum and like happy. And even like Patrick hits like some pretty like high notes
Mhm.
sometimes, like in the first few verses. That it's supposed to be like it's that song like that's just too happy and hiding like something
Yeah.
else
And
behind
now
it.
that you said that, that brings into perspective another question I wanted to bring up, because the intro, they use a very similar like chord progression to this ab.
Oh my god, I know
And like
exactly
Patrick
what
kind
you're
of,
talking about, but I
yeah,
can't
that
think
fucking
of it.
that song, that's what he does at the beginning, and I'm like, bro, this is the same. It's like, it's not 101, but it's like 90%. It's like, oh, change the name on the homework, you know. But yeah, I was like, that as the intro and how it came in, I was like, wow, it didn't start great, and it only went down from there.
Wait, sorry, I have to get this out before I forget because it was just related to what Marcus was talking to. Somebody on Reddit says, I swear that used to be in a coffee commercial. And then someone else says, I
Yes.
know the song you're referring to, but I know it from the Matilda movie. And I'm like, but what's the name?
I was just gonna say, I look at the lyrics again. Yeah, the lyrics are feeling so good right now until we crash and burn somehow. And like, so let's drive up the engine, drive until the engine just gives out. And that's definitely like the energy, right? Like you're putting so much effort in, you're so happy, but like you're absolutely just burning yourself out. Like by the end of the song, it's definitely like an exhaustion.
We at CMU, boys, but we not sleeping.
Yeah.
It's the I got into CMU. and then it's I got into CMU.
I feel like I just don't like the. I don't know if it's like I don't like the vibe. I feel like it is that like that I just don't like how happy and go like.
It sounds generic. Like it sounds like you could have really put, other than Patrick's vocals, any of the instrumentation around this, you could have put another like a person on this song, and you wouldn't say, "Oh, this is a Fall Out Boy song." You would say, "Oh, they're trying to make, they're trying to capture this sound."
Yeah.
It's like extreme sock hop.
Eduardo, I don't know if we've heard from Eduardo yet. Eduardo, did you have any thoughts on this one?
Not anything outside. This just sounds like a Camp Rock. Do you guys remember that movie from Disney
Oh my
Channel?
god,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
that Camp
I
Rock
remember that one.
soundtrack song. I don't know, it just
Yeah.
sounded cheesy. I don't know if it was like bad, it just sounded cheesy. That was it, that was it.
I agree with that. All right. Next, we have The Pink Seashell featuring Ethan Hawke. And I listened to this song for like hours straight. Like I just had it on repeat for like hours. And I feel like everyone can call me bonkers. Like I truly don't give a shit. Because I feel like, okay, I have some bones to pick with some Fall Out Boy fans who were like, I'm not like considering Pink Seashell and like Baby Annihilation when like ranking the tracks on this album, or like they're getting ranked last because like they're not even songs. You know what? You were wrong. I unironically love the Pink Seashell track.
God damn it, Mitch.
I
God damn.
love this. I feel like what like I did not appreciate cinematically in Love from the Other Side, like that the cinematic sound, it is hitting everything for me in the Pink Seashell. Like the swell of these synths and guitars. I have like a whole music video in my head to this song. And there is conflict and everything is in a wash of neon green light and it looks fucking amazing.
Well, Mitch,
You hate this.
You know,
you
I
hate this.
I actually don't hate this. I was like, yo, it's Ethan Hawke, it's that dude from The Purge. But I'm like, yeah, bro, what is this interlude? It's funny. It starts very lighthearted, and it gets into deep places, and the music comes in. I'm like, what was trying to be accomplished here? I don't know. I just wish my girl Nicole had got on the album. That's all,
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Nikki. I wish my girl Nikki got on the album.
I don't even know how they. I don't know. I don't know how they did it, but it was like somehow.
Got Ethan Hawke?
No. I don't know how they made it like sound so good to me. Like I feel like I'm like obsessed with this, and I will gladly listen to it for more hours on it. This is gonna be like in my top 5 Spotify songs of the year, and I will have no explanation. I just enjoy listening to it.
There's something about his voice, like that is Ethan Hawke's voice is very soothing. I think when this first came out, Mitch, I think you told me like this is just Ethan Hawke reading like Pete Wentz's voice notes app or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think that was me. Maybe it was.
And I like saw maybe I saw it online. I'm trying to remember, but
it's like him reading from Pete Wentz's Tumblr or whatever. Yeah. I feel like it's taken from a movie though. I haven't looked too much into this for the amount of times that I've listened to it. But I think they really just stripped the audio from the movie, ? Like I don't think they got Ethan Hawke to come in and record. I think they were just like, hey, can we use this? And he was like, sure.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too initially because it sounded from a movie, but I don't know.
I was hoping Ethan Hawke was just that cool. He's just like, yeah, no, I fucking Fall Out Boy. my daughter fucking Fall Out Boy.
It's from a movie called Reality Bites.
So he hadn't died in The Purge yet.
I
That
guess
makes
not.
sense. That's why he's still there. Eduardo.
Eduardo's so silent.
I don't know how you guys got this many opinions about the interlude. This was me during the interlude. Press play, a minute passed by, and I'm like, okay, let me go on to the next song. I didn't really think much about it. Like I heard the lyrics right, and it's talk about like the dad and hamburgers and stuff. But I didn't really pay too much attention past that. I was like, okay, let's go on to the next song. And then the second and third time, I just skipped it because it was just like, I don't know. To me, it was just like an interlude. Like someone that does a good interlude is the Baby Keem one on Kendrick's album. It's like a whole verse that they do.
Because it's very, very hard for interludes to be the best songs on an album. They're basically songs, we're just calling them interludes because they don't really vibe with like the direction we've been going, and it's like it marks a change somehow. Like I'm thinking like when Drake gave Kendrick his own song, basically. So yeah, no. I mean, it's hard for an interlude to be the best song or like a really good song.
I didn't realize, Mitch, that you played this song for hours, and even I was shocked because usually, like similar to like Eduardo, like and other albums, like you hear the interlude for a bit, fun little break, and then you move on. Like, but the fact, Mitch, that I'm amazed, like you listen to the Pink Seashell like on loop, like it'll be in your top 5 on like your Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. Like,
Yeah.
This is like my top 3 or 4. This song off this album.
What?
Which
Okay.
is like the hottest
Damn.
take of the century. I'm aware. Like me and Pete Wentz.
Goddamn.
Me and Pete Wentz, the only people
Yo, clip
vibing to
this.
this song.
Clip this.
Me and Pete Wentz disassociating in the ocean, like floating in the ocean to this song. Like that's fine. It's just me and him. Like that's fine.
This the take that gonna get us canceled on TikTok, bro.
Let them cancel me. If this is what I get canceled for, I don't know.
You went out for a reasonable cause, I'm guessing.
I'm gonna get canceled for the next song.
Oh yeah, you didn't like that one?
I don't know if we want to move on. If everyone's made their peace with the 1-minute speech.
Wait, Mitch, could you because you've listened to it 100 times,
Yeah.
right? Or like a good amount of
Yeah.
times. Like what is Ethan Hawke going on about? What is he going on about?
It's like about this guy who like his parents are going through a divorce, but his like dad gives him like, a pink seashell, and he's like, the answers are all in here, and the kid is like, well, this is nothing, like this is meaningless. And so then he's like, all right, like fuck it, if it's all meaningless, I'm gonna go get like a cheeseburger. Which I feel like it sounds like, why have you listened to this so many times if that's all it is? But I feel like it's like he says it like more poetically than I just summed it up.
No, yeah. He's like, it's a random meaningless lottery of tragedy.
Yeah.
It just happens and you bounce back. And that's life till you don't.
It's just like the nihilism.
Yeah, it's very for a 90s movie, it is very like late 2010s, 2020 like Zoomer nihilistic existentialist view. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. But this is just like, if you were gonna lay on your bedroom floor for hours, like this would be the song in the background. And that I will let that be my final thought.
We'll play this at your funeral, Mitch. We'll play it at your
Aw, thanks. I feel like people like this would just be like a weird song to play at a funeral.
funeral. Oh, actually, yeah.
Like, I feel like people would just be like, what is it? Like,
she wanted us to
did she like this song? Like, why are they playing it? I feel like somebody should be like, here's songs I hated.
Playlist for funerals? Playlist for funerals? Oh, songs I hated?
Funny. I guess you would only do that for like a person you hated. They hated it.
Show up to their funeral and play their songs they hated.
Yeah, or maybe it would be like a night, like maybe it would be like, I never allowed you to play these in my presence while I was alive, but now you can play them now that I'm dead.
The boombox guy from Say Anything, but just outside the church
Oh
of
my
the funeral.
Yo, okay, I'm making that now. I'm making the edit.
So
The
funny.
boombox, but it's him outside the funeral. Come on.
Oh my god. Okay, we need to move on. I am on my own muse, which is Eduardo's least favorite song on the album. I also have in my notes for this, in all caps, everyone, and then in like regular capitalization, loves this song, and it's good, but is it the best? Because that's what everyone online would say. Everyone online was like, this is my number 1 song. This is the best song on the whole album. I was like, did you guys listen to the album? Like, I don't know.
They're definitely like, I can see how I see both perspectives. I see how you could not like the song. I see how this could be your favorite song. And I could see anything in between. My favorite thing about the song was actually the top comment currently on the YouTube video was like, we get it, Patrick. You could compose a score for films. Because there are like 4 or 5 different sections which totally change vibes, but like feel cinematic. It feels like I'm watching like a Broadway play, right? Or like some Hamilton type shit, the way the instrumentation keeps changing and evolving around his vocals. And if you're into that, if you're into all of those changes in kind of like vibe, I feel like this song really works, and it takes some of the elements of Love from the Other Side, and then it adds other elements you might like. I can also see you not liking it because it doesn't really stick to a lot of things, so it can kind of feel like it's drifting places, and you're like, bro, what is this? So I get both, but it was an interesting song to listen to. I don't feel like I either like really hate or love it, but I get why people could either hate or love this song.
Sounds like if somebody like they were in the studio and somebody was like, Patrick, like remake Centuries and Champion, but like add some scoring to it. And I feel like that like that's what this reminds me of. Maybe that's like too mean, but
Put it in a minor key. No, I think it's definitely a song
Pause.
that elicits strong emotion.
It's definitely a song. Okay, we're dead. Cut there, Mitch.
yeah.
So I'm a sports nut, like to a degree. ESPN has been playing this album in their like
Oh, yeah,
commercial
word.
break, like in their like sort of transition breaks, like absurd, like to an absurd amount. But they played that. They played What Time to Be Alive. They played So Good Right Now. They've played. I feel they've played Heartbreak Feels So Good. Like to an absurd degree, they have played this album on like ESPN, like sort of cuts to commercial or like interludes between sports playoffs, like and like you bring up like Centuries and
Yeah.
like Champion Mitch, like that's eliciting that thought for sure. But this is not like, I guess not to the same degree as like the first two. Like this is not the song that'll make like an athlete. Well, is this a song that'll make an athlete like run through brick walls?
I don't know.
As an athlete,
Yeah.
as somebody who plays sports, run through. I don't know about run through brick walls. Love from the Other Side might make me run through a brick wall. I don't know about this. It's not making me. This is making me sit back and you know and watch some interesting thing and see how it unfolds. But run through a brick wall, I don't know about that. But I guess they're making their songs for the viewers, so if the vibe is sit back and watch, it's doing its job.
I feel like maybe my issue with the song is like every part of this song that like would make it stand out, like another song does it better.
Yeah,
I like
agree.
the cinematic sound better on Pink Seashell. I like the really intense vocals better on Heaven, Iowa. And I feel like I don't like so apparently they wrote this song I think that or they like started this song before the pandemic and then I think they added in later like oh we got to throw this year away like a bad luck charm
Mhm.
and it just it's like it feels too cringe. Like this to me is like more cringy than the fun and dysfunctional.
Nah. Okay. What did you think about like the guitar section? You didn't like
I
the,
agree
like,
with Mitch.
the power guitar section?
Just the power guitar section.
Wasn't it towards the end? It's more like mid-end ish. Start like
I'll find
adding
it.
that.
Eduardo, I want to know Eduardo's thought.
Bro, the incomprehensible damage that Hamilton has done since its release has been immeasurable, and this is but another victim.
That's
This feels
hilarious.
like
Yeah. That's
I
poetic.
don't know. This feels like oh my gosh. I wrote it down, and it makes sense why I wrote it down now because I wanted to talk about this one because this was straight trash. It starts off like some like musical Italian mobsters that snap in the alleyway when they approach you. This thing sounds like Lin-Manuel Miranda did a shadow clone and wanted to one up each other. I don't know. This was that song that like I listened to maybe 30 seconds in, then I skipped a little bit and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm not playing this song. It's sad that the beginning of the album was good and then from So Good Right Now, Pink Seashell, I mean, it's just an interlude. And then I Have My Own Muse. And then the next song, I was like, oh, brother, what's going on? You had me in the first half.
Oh, I feel like
Oh dang!
they got to put the mid songs in the middle.
They put them towards the end. No,
Well, I feel
Yeah,
like
they're
this is
kind of
really
ish in the middle.
Six
Okay,
tracks, 6 to 8.
Fair
I don't know if I agree with Eduardo about Flu Game, but 6 to 8 out of 13, that's like the middle.
Yeah,
middle. No, just hide them where no one will look.
And
Yeah.
this was that new J. Cole album coming out right here. Because this was starting to
No.
fall off, dude.
No, don't associate J. Cole with this song.
That's my opinions.
Damn. Eduardo, I went back and I listened to like the little guitar bit. My take is it would be like fun to play on Guitar Hero.
No, dude, nothing. This song should be buried.
All right.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts? I think we're all in agreement. This is like overhyped.
I just think it's not for us. I think it's a subsection of their fandom who is into the more Hamilton-esque aspects of their sound.
I will say it's overrated. I will accept the hate. I will say it's overrated, and I will say the Pink Seashell underrated. It's gonna be that thing where it's people listen to the Pink Seashell like an average amount of 5 times, and it would be like people have listened to it once, and then I've listened to it like 5 million times, and I'm contributing to all of the plays.
Mitch, hey, I'm glad we're all in the 0.00001% of something. Get to the bag however you can. Mitch.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna move on to Flu Game. I feel like this was also when the preview came out for this. I feel like I thought I would hate it. This is one of the ones where I was like, I don't know how I feel about that when they released the preview, but it grew on me. I love I haven't looked at my notes in a little bit because we were supposed to record this a week ago, but I just have in my notes lots of Notice Me Senpai vibes, which is just so funny. Yeah, this one grew on me. I love the delivery of Last Night I Dreamt I Still Knew You. Whatever, however he sings it, that like really drawn out you. That was good. And I also love the na na na, kind of like Eduardo said, the Italian mobsters snapping at you down the street, like West Side Story or Grease or whatever movie they do that in.
Yeah, West Side Story. This is the song that felt the most classic Fall Out Boy to me when I first, and like my first impressions of the album.
Why do you say that?
I think just like the lyrics, like the chorus. I think especially in like, the beats, the same melodies they were using when after they drew out the U. It just brought me back to the vibes to my favorite Fall Out Boy songs, like especially the ones like Unfolia Do, but still like some of like the major minor combos like in like Save Rock and Roll. It was definitely a song that like stuck distinctly with me. It's almost a nostalgic song, almost. It combines the best parts of like every other album, you could say.
Yeah.
My notes are literally no. Yeah, no too. And Lowell, what's with this random trap hi-hat ending? Because I feel like you were like, this is the most classic Fall Out Boy song. I'm like, I feel like the random trap hi-hat ending there for like no reason is not very Fall Out Boy. Like this entire time there have been no rattling or snap, whatever Fandango is, the rattling hi-hats. There were no rattling hi-hats, and in here, all of a sudden, you just having some rattling trap hi-hats. Like, what's going on? But it's a fun song. It's a fun song. It's not my favorite, but I had a solid time, not catching COVID.
All right. By default, this was a better song than the last song, but that's just because you can't go lower, And that na-na-nas part, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a sped up cadence of the underground theme from Mario Bros. Like if you go to Mario Bros, you go to World 1, 2 when they go underground, the like da 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 da, that part is just them, but they're just singing it and with rock inflections. I feel like everyone liked it, so I don't want to be the only hater here, but I thought it was a little mid. I didn't really like it that much, but that could be from the fact that I had to listen to the like Hamilton rock remix right before this song that I was like, this song just had to take the bullets so I can make it to the end of the album. When I first heard this, I was like, that last song. I'm still complaining about that last song. That's how bad it was. It's 2 songs worth of hate. And then number 10, oh my gosh.
I am like deep in the weeds of like trying to find an explanation for the trap beat at the end that Marcus is talking about. And so far, I have not found a lot, but I have found that apparently the name of this song refers to Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
the
that's
Jordan
correct.
Free game.
That is
Okay, Adam. Oh, are they saying that they're nice with it because they can ball under pressure?
I I have no idea what this is referring to at all because I am not a big.
I get the flu game
Or-
reference. I just
no.
don't get how it pertains to the song or the ending.
Well, it's I don't think it relates to the ending, but people are saying that like the thing that inspired the title was the line "all this effort to make it look effortless," which I have no idea what that means in the context
Okay.
of Michael Jordan.
No, I get
but-
that. It's like that kid who is like, oh my god, how are you so good at this? And you're like, oh, I just dabble, and then meanwhile they're spending like 20 hours a day doing that. That's kind of close similarity, I guess. The flu game's not really that similar, right? I mean, he's balling, but he's playing. He like dropped 45, but he supposedly had the flu the night before, but was like, nah, screw it, I'm gonna play. Apparently, he had food poisoning.
Ooh,
It came out, so the flu game is
Yeah.
actually a misnomer.
but it sounds way better than the food poisoning game.
It's definitely less wordy. It's definitely
Yeah.
definitely less wordy for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing I found is that it's just like transitioning to the next song.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But then it kind of like dies out. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, if we're just gonna fade it out and kind of like let sound kind of let there be a little bit of dead air, then I don't know why we needed to do
Maybe
it. I
it
don't
was
know.
like too
It's
crazy. I feel
interesting.
like we would have to like see what would happen if you like cut out the little trap section at the end of Flu Game and like smash Flu Game and Baby Annihilation together. I feel like it would sound weird.
I think that might have been what it is. Like it was trying to lead into Baby Annihilation because like one of my favorite albums like does that a lot. And maybe that's it. That's like the only explanation I can think of. I think that was it because there was a segment I was like, oh, like they did this cool lead in, and I
Yeah,
think that was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what they tried to do because I just listened back again. I was like, okay, yeah, that does make that way because the energy change is just way too different. Like it ends really high, and if there is none of that change, going into that like somber freaking interlude is like, bro, what? Like you left me at a pretty high, and now it's just like, I'm supposed to be like in the depths of like a meditative state or some shit like that. So it would be too hard of a cut, in my opinion. So I think it does work for that purpose.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna talk about Baby Annihilation next. And the only thing I have written in my notes is Pete Wentz King, which is not very helpful for talking about this song. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it hits hard, but it could have hit harder for like some Pete Wentz lyrics. When this came out, I was just so excited to like have a Pete Wentz track on the album because he has a lot of snippets at like the end of songs and like other albums, but like never before have like we just got him really doing his own words. So I feel like that's like where a lot of excitement for this song comes from. I assume other people don't like this as much, but
Actually, it's funny. I like this. I'm not gonna be on the pink seashell level of liking an interlude ever,
Yeah.
but, I like this. I like this. I think what was my favorite line in this was, "I took off the mask only to realize I was wearing another one under." Shout out to all the neurodivergents who have to deal with masking. There's some cool lines in here, and don't have too much to say other than sample alert. I love a good sample alert, but yeah, it was a chill interlude.
I think you're right though, in that it just doesn't match up to the bizarreness or what is the pink seashell. You're definitely right, Mitch, in that like Pete went sometimes just on the end of songs or just throughout, but never really like by himself. It's nice for sure. It might be a good spot to mention. This album didn't really have any other features. It's just been them, which I think it's been like that for a while, it feels like now that I'm
yeah,
mentioning
Save
about
Rock
it.
and
But
Roll
like
had a lot, but I don't think there were as many.
yeah, I guess both a reminder of like, man, like they really don't do a lot of features, but also it's nice like on their quote unquote like album back.
I
They're
will
just by
say
themselves.
if like Pete Wentz released a whole album like this, I would be there.
Maybe this was the song that you were like, Pete Wentz reads from his notes.
Yeah, that sounds like more like me. I want to get Eduardo's thoughts, but also I feel like we have to address it because there have been so many. I don't know if they like mean me on purpose or just like funny things that have come out of the opening line to this: "An alligator prince with crocodile tears, too many to count." where like they've done promos. They're just like these cartoonishly large cutouts of tears out of like blue construction paper pretending to be leaked out of Pete Wentz's eye. This to me is like hilarious, but like also iconic, where they released vinyl albums that had his tears inside of them. He extracted his tears and then they put them in vinyl and then sold them for $100, and like people sold out all the copies in 5 minutes. No, not even, because I think I like checked within like 10-15 minutes and I was like, they're gone, like they're already sold out. Like but it was just like, it's such like a funny thing, all of these things related to like the promotion and like all these wacky things they're doing with his tears, and like that's how this like little song snippet opens. But Eduardo, what did you think?
Starting from the pink seashell.
No.
Actually, so
Starting from
good
So
right
Good Right
now.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, starting from so good right now, all the way until the baby one. It's been rough. I was like,
Rough notes.
yeah. It's not that it's bad. Like the two interludes, it's not that it's bad, but they're just kind of interludes that like
Mm-hmm.
I will say after this one, it almost felt like they're doing the album and then the interludes came in. So like, all right, now let's reset because the next few songs are gonna be kind of trash. And then the next interlude came in. It's like, all right, we're done. Let's go back to like the good songs. It almost felt like that to me. So this was just another interlude because the next song was, it went back to me liking it. I was like, all right, we're kind of back. It's just kind of funny. That's how it played out when I was hearing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's interlude time.
I feel like the one line that like I have like a love-hate relationship with this line, which is the time is luck, and I wished ours overlapped more or for longer, because I feel like so much other stuff like it just like sounds good together sonically, and then like that line just sounds like awkward compared to like what gets said before and after. But I'm like, it's a clever line. Oh, my last comment about this is that they got baby annihilation, because like in his last line he's like whatever a little annihilation, and they were like, what's a little annihilation, like what's like another way to say a little annihilation, and they were like, baby
It's baby.
annihilation.
Is that how they come up with all their titles? They're like, they pick a line and they're like, oh, that's a cool line. And they're like, what's a cooler way of saying that though?
So they had like a mix on this album, but I feel like still heavily it's coming from the chorus, the like name of the song, right? It's like the only ones that don't do that are maybe Fake Out, Have an Iowa Blue Game, and then the next song we're gonna talk about, which is the Kensuke Kid. But I miss when like a lot of their song titles were just like random, or I don't know, it feels too easy to me. I'm like, give me a little more. Give me a little more like subtext.
Give me more. Let me peek in that brain. What do you really
Yeah.
want to put? What do you really want to put here?
Yeah. All right. So we'll get to the next song, which is the Kensuke Kid, in parentheses, 10 years. Yeah, they stuck part of the chorus in the title there, I guess. But this was also a snippet they released, and I immediately was like, I know I'm going to love this song in my, top 5, whatever, with the Pink Seashell and Baby Annihilation. Say what you want, hate what you hate. I love this song. This song feels like summer to me. It reminds me like summer, like nostalgia. Without even looking at my notes, which say a nostalgia gut punch. Yeah, I don't like, this one is also like very melancholy, but I feel like I like it better than maybe some of their other, like Fake Out is like melancholy, and it like I feel like this does melancholy better than Fake Out.
For this song gives me like, okay, yeah, it's 2010s, right? We're a Disney Channel movie. We're an ethnically diverse group of friends going on a road trip through California, driving down the Sunset Boulevard, and all you're seeing is, there's like green and sunlight, and they have the roof down, and they're sticking their hands up, and they're getting the cuts from, from inside the car, and they're all having a good time on their way to the beach or some shit. Like, that's the vibe of this song. Another thing I like about this song is it got me to finally look up the word kintsugi, which is apparently the Japanese word for, it's the art of taking pottery that has been broken and repairing it. And it's not just like a thing you can do, but it's also like kind of a way of life or a life philosophy that is very prominent. Like people use it often in the metaphorical sense of like healing yourself, like putting yourself back together from wounds. Like even though cracks are there, you can become whole again. So I think it's interesting that we all sent those melancholy vibes because that's probably what they're playing off of with that title.
I also feel like a lot of the pictures I've seen related to the like homage to that like art style or you know reforming of a piece of pottery. A lot of the time, pictures that I've seen of it, it's like you redo it and then like a lot of people have like gold paint, kind of like where the cracks were, and so then I also feel like that adds to the like oh like this was beautiful before and then it got broken and like now I'm like making it beautiful again because I'm like you're painting it and you're like adding more to it that like wasn't there before even though it did get broken.
So what they're trying to say is, though we may have been broken over these 6 years, if you could give this song like a gold, like if you could stream this so many times that we get a gold, we come back stronger and better than ever.
For me, real quick, I liked it. I felt like it wasn't as good as the first half of the album, but it wasn't bad. Like it was a good song.
Yeah.
This album, my enjoyment of it literally looks like it's an inverse normal distribution, right? It's literally like I like the beginning, I like the end, the middle could be done without.
Yeah.
This is definitely ones I played a lot, like early on, like when this first came out. The last 3 songs on the album, like they're very much like nostalgic and wistful, and they're still like very fun. They're definitely some of the strongest, like the last 3 songs for sure.
I feel like this one, it's like so obviously Pete Wentz who like wrote this song with like kind of like the like I could see this song being on Save Rock and Roll because that whole album is like summer nostalgia for me. But just like I'm pretty sure as far as humans go, I'm a hard pill to swallow. Okay, this line is like clever in my opinion, but so roll the highlights, the got to high life. Like the play on the word high there, I feel like it's good and like also like really juxtaposes because like highlights that's like supposed to be like the best parts and then like the got to high life probably not the best part. So I feel like whenever I listen to this song, I always block out the fact that he says chemical haze, and I always am like, I miss the way that I felt nothing, and I'm like, those are the words, and then I'm like, wait, he says stuff before that, but yeah, I don't know. This is like, I really love this song. It's good. It's some good shit.
Yeah, they end the album really, really strongly, and it's all like you can easily point to it. It's like, yes, this is very good. This is the best. Like, yeah, they're very strong.
All right.
What a time
to be alive.
So the song that's been flooding ESPN for the past 2 months.
If the Kensuke Kid is like all Pete Wentz, I feel like in terms of just like vibe and lyrics and everything, What a Time to Be Alive is like all Patrick Stump.
Oh, I'm vibing with Patrick. Patrick, bro. It's so groovy. So groovy.
It just goes crazy. Yeah, so this is the song where, oh my god, we were talking about I Am My Own Muse. To me, like I feel like that song is like trying to be the pandemic song, but I'm like, this song I feel like does it better. It's just like I get so amped up listening to this song.
Oh, for sure. Which is also why it's on ESPN at nauseum. But yeah, the song's on my on repeat right now. But it's so fun to listen to. Admittedly, like the line is like sometimes you wonder if we're ever looking back at a picture of 2019. Sometimes I'm like in the mood where I'm like, that's a little cringe because of our historical times. But also, it hits so true and so hard. What a great like just sort of juxtaposition.
Might have lied, and it might have been that this song is the one they wrote before the pandemic, and then like they inserted that line in later. It's one of those.
Yeah, a lot of this album was definitely written during the pandemic, and then during the time that we all had like just staying inside, then they added to it and redeveloped it.
I feel like also Marcus and Eduardo, I did not show you guys this album, but Patrick Stump, who's the lead singer, the guy who's writing a lot of the music, he has a solo album called Soul Punk. And this, like, literally, this is just soul punk. Like, if you condense soul punk to, like,
I might go check it
one
out
song,
then.
yeah, no, I can send it to you. But, like, it's crazy. I guess it's, like, exactly what the album title says, where it's, like, soul and punk. But, yeah, everything about this is just, like, it's a bop. Or I don't know if it was, like, I thought this song would be, like, mid or something, but then, like, the, like, chorus or pre-chorus kicks in, and I'm like, ah, damn, like, they got me again. Like,
You can't stop bopping your head when you hear this. And I just love how it starts off groovy. I'm like, this is kind of groovy, but like, is it gonna progress? Like, what are we gonna do here? If it stays here, I don't know if I'm vibing with it. But he just keeps adding trumpets come in, like it was on some chance shit. And I feel like the groove and rhythm they're hitting
Mhm.
is very upbeat and bouncy. And it stands out on the album because it does upbeat in a way that I feel like said old geezer who made them write so good right now was like, make this song. Like it actually does feel good. Whereas so good right now, it feels like, dang, okay. But I'm bopping right now. Just think about it. It's a good song, and it's an interesting choice, especially for the song that precedes it. But yeah, no, I like this song quite a lot. Very, very chanty, inspired-ish sections. And I feel like it's a fresh sound that I kind of haven't heard or would expect them to even venture as much into. But that's probably just based on my more limited Fall Out Boy knowledge.
Yeah. I feel like this also does, like, the quintessential, like, Fall Out Boy song, which is, like, the really nihilistic lyrics, but then, like, you're just, like, dancing to it.
I'm
Yeah,
bopping. I'm bopping.
it's that song where, like, my friends have, like, a crying in the club playlist where it's, like, all songs that, like, you would be, like, bumping to in the club, but then, like, if you stop to think about the lyrics, you'd be like, I need to go home, cry. Like,
Oh, you mean
yeah,
Tears in the
yeah,
Nightclub?
Tears in the Nightclub.
Playlist?
Yeah, that would be like this. Except I feel like even this is just, like, way too much of a bop. I'm like, I can't even be sad.
I can't. I don't know what he could be
Oh, yeah.
saying. I will choke out all the puppies, and I would still
Oh
be
my-
dancing to it. Like, but the trumpets, though.
I thought it was cool. As you can see in my graph that I created on Photoshop real quick, I thought it was good. This one to me wasn't as good as the last song. So you see that little dip, but it's not as big as
Okay.
I made it. It's just
Yeah.
I'm not an artist. The dip's a little low, but I kind of feel the same way that Marcus was saying. I felt like this was a little more corporate, and it makes sense why it's on ESPN because it definitely feels like that's like the vibe of it. Like I definitely see this on like those recap sports kind of highlights. We'll be right back kind of ones. Doesn't mean it's a bad song. I just prefer the song before that. So I had to show like track 11 is a little better. I think the dip's a little too low, but that's why I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
I guess mirroring what like Marcus you were saying about like so good right now, like it is
Mhm.
corporate, but like this works. For so good that was corporate but didn't work. But that's not saying this song
I don't
feels
feel like
corporate.
it feels corporate because to me, it's the opposite of corporate. Like I know we're saying it's corporate because to me, when I think corporate, I think soulless. I think this does not have soul, and this does have soul. This has like tons of soul and groove in it. It's just done in a manner that would definitely appeal to masses or play very well to pop people. But there's definitely soul in it. So I would never call it corporate. I would just call it like more tailored to like being played in those situations that Eduardo's talking about. But I wouldn't call it soulless because there's a ton of soul in this, ton of fun shit going on.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready for the title track of the album?
I'm ready.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
We've made it. I don't know why. I feel like this took longer than like reviewing the 30 songs I sent you guys.
It's because this is their hiatus, Mitch. This is the big episode we've been building to. We've been blue balling this episode for weeks now. And you've been wanting to do this episode for years. You've been wanting to talk to Fall Out Boy for years.
True.
Probably like 50% of the reason we're even all together for this podcast right now. So I'm not surprised we're taking each song, giving it its just due.
Yeah. I feel like we were like 4 songs into the album and I was like, oh man, we didn't talk about that. But like now it's fine because now it's the title track of the album. But like title of this song and the title of the album, you know, so much. And then in parentheses for Stardust, which I feel like was also really clever and like also kind of reflects, you know, we got like a lot of songs that seem upbeat, but then you like look at the words and you're like, oh shit, that's kind of dark, which is kind of the play on the album title where like you could read it if you omit the for as like so much Stardust, which, you know, that sounds really nice. Or if you read it as like so much for Stardust, it's like we were supposed to have Stardust and then they like gave us nothing or like didn't work, you know, that sort of thing. So I feel like that was something I enjoyed and thought was clever. It was just talking about like the title itself. We get
Oh yeah.
this song. This song also opens with strings, which akin to Love from the Other Side. I guess the piano starts on Love from the Other Side, and like this one actually starts with strings, but it's got that really cinematic experience. I feel like this song grew on me, and I actually feel like the parts I like the most in this song are the little couplets they have. The life is just a game, maybe I've been stuck in a lonely loop now, maybe I think I've been going through it and I've been putting your name to it, which is such a Pete Wentz line. And then I feel like my favorite one is
Yeah.
the one at the end where he sings, I used to be a real go-getter. I used to think it all get better, which I feel like is such like there's such like a vibe for like I don't know, like everything I'm feeling right now. Like I feel like this is a song that like if it came out when I was like 10, I would have been like, this is so me. And like me now, over a decade later, I'm also like, this is so me. Like those little couplets, like I feel them deep in my soul.
Yeah. And like that one, especially too, about how it all get better. Like Patrick sings
Mhm.
that so well too. Very strong belt. And I think it's another one of those songs where everything like really just works. And like I'm also such a sucker of like if you call back your past songs or songs in the album in your big closer or through other songs, like I love that so much. And so when they were singing out like lines from Love from the Other Side, I was like, ah yes, like the callback, it was perfect. And yeah, it just ties in everything so well and it just made me love it even more. It's a really great album closer. But yeah, like this is almost a song I see on Reddit a lot that people are like, this is the best song on the album. Like that album closer, man. Like this is the one I've been seeing the most, even more than like I Am My Own Muse. But and it's all deserved because
I'm about
it's
to
a
have
great
like my
closer.
15th hot take during this recording session. I don't know if I like the callback as much as like other people did.
I think like I'm still trying to find like how everything connects and like the thematic stuff. It's definitely like a personal thing for me. Like one of my favorite albums like is all interconnected and very discographical
Yeah.
referential. So I know for me it's also definitely personal. But I'm still trying to find out how it
I
connects
feel
like
like for me, it's
thematically.
just like they only did Love from the Other Side, which one I would have loved if they did more of it with other songs. But two, Love from the Other Side, it's like fallen into like my like, mid ranking of the albums. I'm like not as excited.
I will agree that like I wish that they referenced more songs. But I also agree, especially since Blood from the Other Side was the first single, you're like, "Oh, if this is the only song that's getting love in the closer, then, it's not a little sad, but it's like that's the only
Yeah.
one kind of. I don't know."
For me, I thought this was a good end to the album. It ends up on a high note. This song reminds me a lot of the early 2000s wrestling theme songs.
What? It's so
If
funny.
you if you ever saw the promotion for WWE or SmackDown versus Raw video games, this is that song, and it gave me that like that vibe to it where like you're watching all the wrestlers like come into the ring or them showing off like those highlights. I don't know. These last two songs give me that like WWE highlights montage soundtrack. Not a bad thing that I used to watch those a lot. I used to like those commercials and I feel like this song would go really really good for like a promotion for like WrestleMania or SummerSlam or one of those. I like the song. It was cool. I like the vibe. I just wish there was more sad boy songs. Like these have
You
been
want more
upbeat,
Crybaby?
but I want those tears.
It's funny. I feel like I differ from you. I feel like I like
when they were more upbeat in general. I feel like I like Fall Out Boy. Ironically, I know they're more of the emo, but but I like them more when they're generally happier shit. Or like a lot of the chords here, like everything about this song isn't like happy. I don't think this is a happy song. In fact, it seems very much like you were sold a bag of goods where like you fought something. It was bittersweet, right? You strived all your life to achieve this thing that you thought would like bring you joy, and then like boom. And I feel like the way they like display that vibe musically with like the strings and the chords and all of that is pretty fucking cool on this song. They do a really good job, and I think they Fall Out Boy, at least on this album, seem to follow that classic Robert McKee story structure, right? If you want to have a good story, and this is what like all screenwriters call it, the Bible is his book. You got to start strong to get people to come in, and you got to finish strong. And if there are two things they did on this album, they started strong and they finished strong. So, and the rest really doesn't matter.
Damn.
So I feel like they did. This is one of my favorite songs. I feel like it'd be up there. I think it's like it's top 3 for me for sure.
Damn.
Like I like it a lot.
First, I'm mildly offended that like my beloved emotional support band is just becoming like a sports band. I don't like that.
That's not a sports band.
Yeah,
It's not a
Eduardo was
bird.
like, they sound like they belong in like a wrestling nerd.
Yeah, the
Like,
last two
No,
songs.
Everybody has that though. J. Cole's not like, oh, I'm a sports guy, right? But he'll have a song that sounds like it could fit in one, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody has that. It's just who's doing the music selection. That's it, right? Like, I don't even think this one fits in most sports nowadays
one,
that I would
no,
think of, like on
but-
ESPN. Especially because it's like we thought we had it all. Maybe you play it at the end. Like I feel like this might go well over a collage of like some like person who did really well all season, like the 73-9 Warriors, and then lost. And now I still have to deal with the pain of that to this day. But like that might work. But otherwise, I don't think this is a sports song at all. So I wouldn't worry about your band becoming like a sports song band, because I would say 95% of this album is not sports friendly.
I would say they definitely like have lessened it over time. I think it's more of like Fall Out Boy now has like that, just like that one song that they'll put it all like the sports stuff, and now like Fall Out Boy performs at like the
That's what I
NHL
don't
and like the
That's why
NFL
I'm
draft,
like, no,
and
I'm
that's
like, no, like those shows belong to Fall Out Boy fans and like not people who
weird.
get some sport.
I get it, Mitch, because like I feel like like part of what makes them cool is being counterculture. So if you're performing at like the NFL, and not exactly a group known for being the most amenable to emo music, or just different different kind of sounds of people in general, like probably not the place you want to be seeing your band. That might not spell great things for things to come. So I can see the sense of trepidation there.
I don't know. Despite all that, like they've done relatively good balance of like, I think they're still like they're not like one of the biggest rock bands ever, but yet they still are.
Aren't they? They aren't? I feel like they're one of them, no?
I definitely still get like, who the fuck is Fall Out Boy on the street?
From who?
Like,
I mean, I guess they must be. They must be. Are they
Who says
old or
that?
younger people?
Both.
I feel like it's either people who are like way older, so they were never into it, or way younger, and now the landscape has changed musically. Oh, it's both. It's the normal
I feel like
distribution.
It's also like punk is making like a weird resurgence. I also like, I don't know, like I feel like people are like, oh, Fall Out Boy is pop punk, but I'm like, I wouldn't describe this album as pop punk. I don't know. Is it alternative?
pop rock?
That's
Yeah,
what iTunes labeled
alternative, I
them
think,
as.
is correct. They're on the cover of Spotify's alt rock playlist.
Anyways, we should get this episode.
Nah, we should
Oh my
keep
god,
going.
should we do a 24-hour episode at some point?
Okay, life is just a series of a random lottery of meaningless tragedies, Mitch, and you just keep trying to bounce back from that and survive until you don't do it anymore. Okay,
Just eat the burger, Mitch.
So I'm saying we keep going, and we all go to our respective burger joints, and we keep this going.
I mean, it's 12. Not all of us live in the city.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's not
Damn,
open
Mitch.
till 2 a.m. here. Shit closes at like 9.
Dang, there's nobody that would deliver.
I don't know. I'm not gonna look that up right now. I'm trying so hard to wrap this up. We hope you enjoyed this very lengthy episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to talk about it. I feel less cringy than I did last episode, even though I dropped a bunch of hot takes about the interludes. But
Mitch revealed her Spotify Wrapped
I'm
the
like,
world.
honestly, I'm like really scared it's gonna be like this album and then like Taylor Swift. Like that, I feel like my biggest fear is having Taylor Swift in my Spotify Wrapped. I don't know why.
Mm.
All right. Well, I guess Marcus, do you want to share your social?
Oh no, no! Oh, you're like, nah, we're
Okay,
not doing final thoughts.
thought.
On
I'm
this.
like,
Oh, this
like
just
really
keep
trying to
going.
wrap it up. Final thoughts, Marcus.
Final thoughts. Okay. I want to thank you, Mitch, for making us listen, making us listen to the album. It was nice going back to Fall Out Boy. I feel like I haven't really kept up with the alternative rock or pop punk sound or seen at all really or bands in it since like that must have been middle school for me, like 2012 or 13. Oh wait, that wouldn't be middle school. That'd be high school. Never mind. But like, it's been a while. And it's nice to see that they're still making pretty solid, pretty fun songs. So I'll definitely be adding a couple of these to the playlist, and excited to see what they do in the future. Start strong, finish strong, like we at the pod do. And you can find Marcus Plenty at Plenty Marcus at IG. Not Marcus Plenty because never mind. Anyway, back to yeah. You can find me on TikTok at Plenty Marcus, and you can find any new stuff that my group does at Shuriken's Crew on YouTube or TikTok or Spotify.
All right, Eduardo, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I did the math. I liked 8 out of 12 tracks because 2 interludes for me, they fit like the same track, so it's not that bad. It's a pretty good album. You can find Marcus at Planning Marcus on TikTok, Instagram, Shuriken's Crew. I'm almost done. This Thursday, I present my master thesis, so your boy's almost free to wreak havoc on the world. I'm almost done.
Hey.
All right, Izzy, final thoughts and self-promotion.
Yeah, I don't have anything to promote really. I don't know. For final thoughts, yeah, started strong, ended strong. A lot of like the early reactions on like Reddit and like what I've been seeing is that it feels like this was the friend who you hung out a lot with when you were younger. They left for a long time and then they're back, and it's all the same, and like it's a very welcoming, like comforting feeling. And you definitely feel it, even amidst like a dud or two you may feel. Like overall, it's still very, very good.
Yo, that is exactly how I felt. That was a very poetic way of putting it, and I literally just had that happen to me also as well. So dang, the perfect album for the moment.
Yeah.
They knew.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite albums. I say that like knowing that like people will be like, "What's your favorite?" and I'll be like, I don't know." So don't quote me on that ever. No, but I feel like that this album ranks pretty highly for me. It definitely has a lot of good songs. I'm like torn when I go see them on tour between like wanting to hear stuff on this album and from wanting to be like only play stuff from your first 4 albums just because they have such a discography now, they can't get to everything. But I wish they should have a Taylor Swift concert and play 44 songs. Anyway.
Yo, wait, can I say
Sure.
one more thing, Mitch? Slightly not related, but happy birthday, Discord. Okay, we're good. Discord.
Happy birthday to the
All right, we good. We out.
To our
Discord, the actual just Discord, not like our server or
like the
any
app.
related server, but like the entire thing.
Why are you shouting out Discord in my precious Fall Out Boy episode?
I mean, how would we be doing it without it, Mitch? Would we
guess
be
so.
the gang we are today without
No,
Discord?
I would probably never like talk to you,
Okay.
Eduardo.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yes, I know.
Anyways, back to the album. Yeah, I really like this album. Shouts out my special nomination, whatever you call it. What is that called? Oh, my honorable mention. I got there. That's also a Fall Out Boy song. My honorable mention,
Yes.
the Pink Seashell featuring Ethan Hawke. That would be my heart forever because it's good. And to all the haters, you just keep on hating.
And shout out to Izzy for coming through.
Yeah, shout out Izzy.
Yeah, Izzy. You gotta come through more, Izzy. You chill.
Thank you. I'm so glad. It's nice to meet all of you, and I'm very happy to be on, and I had a great time.
Thank you for listening, everybody, and have a good night.
Good night.
Bird up.
Bird up.